Hi, welcome again. I'm very happy today to be here talking to you again. Today we're going to talk on war. I think you know war and you have experienced war one way or the other. Though some people may not have experienced war, but I think you have watched that maybe on a movie or you have heard of that from someone. So, what is war and what war has to do with law? So, if we talk about war and law, there is a law that is applied within war. In the situations of war, there is a law, and that law has to do with the humanitarian law. The humanitarian law is there to protect civilians. So civilians must be protected by all costs. That's why the humanitarian law was made to protect the citizens. And in war, what should be targeted and what should not be targeted? What you have to protect, number one, is the civilians. If you target civilians within a war, it is a war crime. That's why you always hear people talks about war crime. That is number one war crime. You are not allowed to target civilians. Personally, we know that there's war going on there between the Israelis and the Palestinians. There's a war going on there, and it is very, very deadly. So, will the law of humanitarian be applied to them? Because we know personally that the United States of America is fully supporting Israel in the war. So, will that law be applied to them? Because you are not allowed to target a civilian within a war. That's number one. And number two, what humanitarian law does. Number two, there should always be a medical service for citizens who are been harmed within the war. There should be a medical facilities. So if you stop a medical facilities, or if you stop the operations of medical workers, you have committed a war crime. And after the war, you can be prosecuted and sent to prison. Number three is rape. During a war, you are not to rape, whether a child or whatsoever. If you do rape in a war, you have committed a war crime. And there is a universal principle that deals with committing a war crime. And under the universal principle, if you committed a crime within a country and you escape to another country, you can be prosecuted in that country because you committed a universal crime. So the universal principle can deal with you there. It's not like the interest of the country to go back for you and prosecute you. No, you can be prosecuted within that country. Those are the principles that talks about how prosecution works. So in the war, there are certain things you must provide. That's why you always see United Nations comes to save people, because it is the humanitarian law that was set to protect that part of the situations of war. And you will see a rescue team to come and rescue. You should allow them to be rescued, because if you shot those rescue teams, you have committed a war crime. The terrible war that is now going on between Israel and Palestine, will the United States talk into that situation after the war? is Israel wrong to carry on that war? Because we all know Israel is a big hand country. You cannot mess with Israel. But the fact that they are shooting missiles and deadly weapons, with the United States staying against that, because the United States is in full support of Israel. So that's why we all just pray not to come across war, because war is deadly. Though the law of humanitarian protects the interests of the civilians doing war, but still there are some people who will be harmed, there are some people who will die, and the law will not stand for them. Because war is deadly, war destroys all your property, your life, and it makes everything look miserable. So what is your take on the war presently going on? Or how those laws are going to be implemented in this war? The one we call humanitarian law. How is it going to be implemented? Let's think about that. Today we should stand and pray. We should stand to remember Palestine, because today is Palestine and tomorrow it could be you. All we have to do is pray, because Israel is an undefeated country. If you hear that word undefeated, it is the full definition of Israel. Israel was blessed a long time ago by the Father. So Israel cannot easily be defeated. So if Israel is going against Palestine, it is also much of daily acts, and it is going to be a huge one. So humanitarian law, when you work in this situation, we hope to see your comments. We hope to see you share this video, that it goes far out to people who need to hear this. Because war is dead. We should stop conflict. We should focus on how to take the universe to another level. We should think on how to bring people minds together, how to bring peace. But every time we have conflict, this country and another country, this family is another family, this tribe and another tribe, what are we doing? Where are we heading? Let's move on, because some of us are going into the field law to prosecute people who commit those crimes. But how can it work? And we should stand against that. We love you, and we hope you subscribe to our YouTube channel and all of our social media platforms, that we will bring you more information and legal issues. Thank you for watching.